Hey there, welcome back to Early Stage Product. And I'm glad you can join me today as I cover part two of navigating your first 30 days as an associate product manager or a product manager. If you haven't watched my previous video on the people management part of navigating your first 30 days, go ahead and check that one out first before continuing on with this one. Uh, the last video covered how you can make the best of making the connections that you need inside of your workplace and in decreasing the ramp up time when it comes to understanding team structures and team dynamics. On this video, we're going to talk about how you can really speed up your ramping up time and get accustomed to the product and really start hitting the ground running, so to speak. So we will start off with point number one, which is study the product. So up until now, you had a chance to interact with it as a user, and probably that's how you built a value deck. But now you have the opportunity to look under the hood and really look at every single aspect of the product. It could be integrations, it could be third party software solution providers, and it just could be certain backend or certain product flows that are not immediately apparent to people as users. So I want you to really look inside every aspect of this, look at every detail and know it inside out, because this is really important. Because as you start working on certain sections of the product, if you don't have your basics right, it can come back to haunt you in the future. So that would be point number one. Number two would be, of course, understanding the product development cycle. And what I mean by this is every company that I've seen has a very unique or slightly different methodology that they follow. I personally, at the place where I work at this moment, we follow a hybrid model of both sprints and Kanban. But remember that it is your job not only to conceptualize a product or product requirements, but take it to delivery and make sure that the product being delivered is exactly as you conceptualized or compromised and agreed to. So the main idea is that you really need to understand how these things work. It does not stop at you handing over a PRD to a tech team. As a product manager, it's really important to make sure that anything regarding the product is under your purview. So I'd ask that you spend some time with the developers understanding how it flows from the product pipeline, where it's just product requirements, into the development pipeline, maybe into the QA or the QC pipeline, and finally into production. So spend some time with the team understanding that, because the better you understand it, the better you can work with your team to get your requirements out into the real world as a product. The third part would be just making the best of what you got. So let's not kid ourselves. At this point, you are probably the new kid on the block. You are the newest person there. But this is an advantage if you're talking about it as a product manager, just because now you have an unbiased view of the product. You can look at things that and identify certain discrepancies that product managers who are looking at these products day in and day out simply cannot, since they are so accustomed to seeing it in a certain way. So you can take this fresh pair of eyes, so to speak, and really perform a keen look at the product. Identify where there are certain glaring misses, but you don't need to directly point it out as misses, but rather try to understand why certain actions were taken, certain decisions were made, and get into that decision level of the product. Again, once you have all of your questions in place, once you have all of your perceptions in place, you can go ahead and perform what I like to call a newbie product audit, where you list out certain very apparent misses, very questionable probably areas of the product, and you propose solutions, you propose fixes. Maybe you take a parallel from a competitor product and you propose a feature, and that's how you could get started with your journey in your new startup. So this is primarily all you need to do to navigate your first 30 days. If you can just do these three simple things really well, you are all set, and you're setting yourself up for success at your new startup. So, again, congratulations, welcome to the flock, and stay frosty.